Walker here. Welcome back to 7 Days to Die Alpha 19 Experimental. So this is the first episode I'm recording after the current, the new update, where they added these wonderful sort buttons. Well, it's not the sort buttons, it's these buttons. The ones that allow you to auto-stack things into boxes. So, I managed to finish crafting, I already grabbed them, 2 more cement mixers because we are getting close to needing to really begin cement production. And of course, naturally, there's no room here. So we're going to go put these away for now. I've grabbed some materials, and we're going to head on over to the Horde Base, because we're going to start expanding it. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do, but I have an idea in mind. So let's go ahead and go take a look at the Horde Base, and it's 8 o'clock, so how many dukes do I have? Almost none. Oh, I got 1,600. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop off at Trader Jen's real quick and see what she has in her vending machine. I really wish I'd gotten that crucible, but well, mistakes were made, things happen. Not the end of the world. The good thing is I already had one, so it wasn't exactly critical that I get it, but it would have been a nice bonus. Alright, we definitely want the eye candy, the hackers. I've got so many jailbreakers, I'll never use them all. Let's see if today was restock day. I think it was.
You're looking kind of rough.
I'm okay,
You
Jim.
didn't get bit, did you?
Which time? 50% sneak damage, retracting mod, cripple a mod. That's tempting. That is a really good mod. Let's see. Anvil, advanced bellows. I don't have any of those. That's a great find. Oop. Let's see. Tough guy sunglasses. I've already got those, I do believe. Cooling mesh. Shotgun shells. Should I buy that cripple mod? You know what? I am going to buy that. I don't have enough. Oh, because I bought the
Thanks
advanced
for the
bellows.
business. We're open from dawn to dusk, since, we don't have clocks.
We don't have clocks. That's okay, Jen. I've got plenty of quests that I can still do. I think we're only on tier 3. I don't even think we're at tier 4 yet. And tier 4 is where you start getting the good stuff. Haven't done but maybe 2 tier 5s, and I wasn't super impressed with the rewards. Wow, I didn't realize how close that POI was. But that's okay. So what we're going to do today, just one of those little disclaimers. Yeah, it's going to take me a while to get used to hitting the sort button over here. Okay, so for the moment, I don't know if I want to use those. These don't have... Yeah, they got the pillar 100s. I want the pillar 50s. But that's okay. So what we're going to basically do is we're going to make a platform. Oops. Let's go ahead and make some wood frames so we can get this. So what we're going to do is we're going to put probably wood plates. And of course, if I can, I'm going to make them out of concrete. I know there's wood plates in here. Wood plate. There we go. Let's see. I don't think on face. On face does work. Alright. I actually didn't mean to put that down, but that's okay. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some... Well, these won't actually be wood plates. They'll probably be... wood bars. And I'm going to basically make a platform on that level all the way around. Now, more than likely, the... I don't know, that's really low. If a block is 3 above is on the 3rd block, zombies and people are 2 blocks tall. So if you put a block on the block just above them, even if it's like this, they can hit that block. And they do attack up. Although they don't do it often, they do it. So if I put anything like wood bars here, I would have to guarantee, or I would have to upgrade them to iron, or else they would absolutely destroy them in very short order. Especially once we start getting cops. So, I hit the wrong button. So what we're going to do is, we're going to think about this for a moment, because I could lower the ground a bit. Maybe I could lower the ground by 1 block. See, I can't really raise it up an extra block like that, because if I did that, then it would be it won't line up with the pillars. Now, I mean, I guess I could chop the pillars out and maybe even raise it up one. Like, chop this pillar out, put a solid, or not put a solid block. Or, yeah, put a solid block here. And then chop the very top block out and put a second pillar so that it would keep the same basic design. But I don't think we need to do that. We're going to have to flatten all this out eventually, which is perfectly fine. So, looks like right about here is where it goes uneven. So how about over here? Is it still uneven? It's one of those things I'll have to do eventually. I'll have to go around and flatten the area and see what I need to cut out and what I don't. So that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, I mean, really, that's plenty. I wouldn't have to really cut. Maybe this one here I'd have to take out. So, we need an entrance. And I was considering doing the good old-fashioned underground. But then I realized that since I'm going to make a platform above the outside of the current base, I could just do something where I could make an outside ladder and then I could just climb up from the outside without having to go underground. Now, it's not that I'm concerned about zombies getting to the underground walkway. I've done this dozens of times. They've never once even tried to go for the walkway. So that's not why I wanted to change it. I basically just wanted to change it because do something different. But we could theoretically put an underground entrance in for now, and then when the base gets much more filled out, we could put an entrance on the outside, either as an extra entrance, or we could close off the underground one, although I don't really see a need for that. And then we could also have it as we could use it as a backup or just about anything. I mean, possibilities are pretty endless. But one thing I definitely know I need to do, and I need to do it now, is knock out the block here at the edge so the dogs don't keep doing that weird dive into the ground when they were standing at the edge. Because that was humorous, but I think that helped them get in. Then again, maybe doing this will help them get in. I don't know. We're going to find out on the next Horde night, that's for sure. But the next thing I need to do is start getting some serious resource gathering going, because we're definitely, our cement production is just ridiculously low. For most people it's probably too high, or not too high, but high enough, but for the amount of stuff I intend to do, it's not even close. Whoops, that would have been bad. So for the moment we're just going to put one block around the edge here, and no we're not. We're going to upgrade these blocks for, and of course I did. Okay, is there any... Give me a second, guys. Okay, we're back. Had to go home and get some materials here so I could repair and then upgrade these. Now that I think about it, I don't need to make any more. For some reason I was thinking I was going to upgrade them to cobblestone. No, they're already cobblestone. Now I'm not worried about upgrading these to reinforced concrete. I mean, in fact, I don't even need to upgrade these to concrete, but it's one of those things where once I start getting demolishers, we're going to be glad we upgraded these at least to concrete, because they're definitely going to do some damage. Now, part of the reason we're expanding the base a bit out is for that very reason, because when the demolishers come, I don't really think I want to stand here in the center part of this, because even if I get to the opposite side, if one starts to explode, I'm pretty sure I would be far enough to not die, but I would probably take damage. Not to mention the fact that they would, especially if this isn't upgraded to steel, which it will be by then, they will definitely do a number on me as well as the base. So yeah, I definitely don't want that to happen. So we don't have a whole lot of cement mix, concrete mix, but we've got enough to get done. To get done with this. And then we're going to look at the design. I definitely do not want to put off doing the work on the base, because that is a recipe for disaster. Especially when you got 16 max alive. If we were 8 max alive, this base is probably good for, well, till we get demolishers. Because they just won't get in when there's only 8 at a time. But you also really wouldn't need explosives either for that. 8 zombies is just not a threat. I mean, they can be if you're just like AFKing. That's not how I roll. I don't like AFKing. I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I've done it. But generally speaking, I prefer to fight the Horde. I want that XP. I want to level up. I want to get more abilities. It's just a never-ending progression. So, this will hopefully correct the issues with the dogs getting stuck. Now we need to upgrade or repair all this stuff because this stuff mostly got pretty beat up. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. I wonder if today's an airdrop day. Not too concerned about the top. The bottom blocks, it looks like the top ones were the ones that took most of the beating at. There you go. Hey, hey, I hear an airdrop. Guess what we're doing? As soon as I get this stuff upgraded. Most of this is all really light damage, so just kind of shows you even for this point of the game, was it day 21? No real threat. Yet. The real threat is a-coming. It's just not here yet. So let's hurry up and upgrade all this, and then we're going to take a look at how we're going to expand this. I mean, I already know what I'm going to do, it's just a matter of doing it. Okay, that's good. Let's get the last side. Yep, I knew there was one or two that were really bad. Alrighty. The good thing is, by putting in this extra bar here, that's yet another block they have to break through in order to get in. Which is one of the reasons why this method is so effective. The more blocks they got to break down, look at that tiny little upgrade leveled me up. Nice. Alright, so what do we have for upgrades? I really want to get salvage operations up. Need more boomstick. We're good on that for now. I really want... You know what? We're going to do that, because I want sham chowder. I'm tired of meat stew. Meat stew is good stuff, but you know what? I want the real food. Of course, that means now I gotta go find a... How much do I have left? Ooh, keep hitting that button. I'll get used to it. Okay, so we don't have a whole lot, but we don't need a whole lot. Actually, we can't use that. We need to make wood bars. I was on the PS4 version going through the menu for like 3 minutes trying to find wood bars, and I just couldn't figure it out. I was like, where are the wood bars? Oh yeah, they don't exist on console. I think they added them in Alpha 17? Maybe 18, but I think it was 17. Okay, so I have an idea here. Since this area is already lower by default, maybe what I'll do is I'll leave this here where it's at. And then either I'll make this one the same level, or I'll dig these two out and put in a wedge tip so they can kind of get up to me. But that'll keep them a little lower on the ground, so when I put these blocks in here, not blocks, they are blocks, but let's see, on face, oh, that's not what I meant. Usually on face, they do that, but not on this one for some reason. That's okay. Oop, advanced rotation. Boom. Not that I need to, but I like to copy just to make sure. So, okay, I am standing up, so we're just going to go around and make this probably 3 wide, I think. That should be sufficient. This should hold with that much weight, and it does. So now, let's see, do I want to put the shotgun here, because I am not taking that off just in case we get a dog or a bear horde. Don't say it can't happen. It's happened. Alpha 16 had happened once. I was busy working on my base, and all of a sudden I had 3 zombie bears and like 7 dogs all at once show up. All I heard was the roar, and I turned around and they were already in my face. I had an AK and a shotgun. That's the only thing that saved me. So don't ever assume that it can't happen to you, because it totally can. Okay, so now the question is, do I want to do that and then put something... Actually, you know what? Before I do that, I need to start putting the blocks on this side. We're just going to do the corner here. And as you can tell already, that's definitely not going to fly, so I'll have to dig this out, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and build this to where it should be, and pray it doesn't collapse. It shouldn't, but you know how that shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't does. Yes, I think that'll work. Well, let's go ahead can chop this out. I'm not the biggest fan of floating blocks. So, okay, so that's plenty there. Yeah, I think that'll work really well. Now, what I will more than likely do is, let's see, what is this? This is the center, so that's one out too far, so there we go. So that'll probably be there. So then I can have 3 on each side. That should be plenty of support. It's not really an issue until you start building or upgrading these to iron, because iron adds a lot of weight. Iron is much stronger and holds more weight, but if you're not careful and you don't have it properly supported, you can very quickly get into a situation where things get out of whack and then you get collapses. It's happened to me more times than I care to admit. Right. Even though we're not going to leave these blocks in permanently like this, it's a good idea to go ahead and set them up. I mean, as you can see, you don't need to support any of this. This is just more of a, in case of significant damage to some of the bars or something, they won't collapse. I want to put these bars in right now, or these pillars in, but since I'm going to be digging the ground out, I don't know exactly how deep to go. Because if I put that down to there, that actually would work perfectly. I could put the 2 wedge tips in here, and that would probably be just fine. In fact, since we can now do wedge tips with wood, we're going to say, oh, that's not a hole. It is not. So we're going to go like this, and we're going to go like that. So yeah, I think leaving 2 flat up here is a better idea than just leaving 1. I mean, we could. Nah, we are going to do that. We're going to leave 1. I think 1 is sufficient. One should be more than enough. And then what I can do here is the same thing. And the idea is, even if... Oop, yeah, that should be really good. Now, obviously, I'll have to dig all this out and everything, and I'm not going to make you guys watch all that, because not that it's terribly boring, but not everybody wants to watch this kind of stuff. I do rather enjoy it myself. Okay, so that block does not need to be... Yeah, see, I'll have to go all the way around and figure out what blocks can be... What blocks need to be removed and which ones do not. As you can see, these definitely do need to be removed. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. And then we'll flatten all this out. I'll put a block underneath this. Oop, reload. Probably put something like that. Not made of wood, of course. And there we go. I'll probably put in... I really like the 100 pillars, but I might put the... Or no, 50 pillars. I like the 50 pillars. So that would probably be that. And then I would dig this out to a certain range, and then I would just leave like a small cliff or whatever, or a ledge. Because they're coming in, they're not going out, so I'm not worried about them getting stuck. So I think that's a good... That's a good start. Let's see. You know, just in case, go ahead and copy rotation. And we're going to go ahead and just finish this stuff up. It won't take too long, really. It should only take about 2 or 3 in-game days to get this all set up. Probably not even that. I'd say less than 2. However, the issue is going to be... That is 3, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it is. And then the center is right here, so... So we just go ahead and put this for here for the moment. The problem right now is obviously the materials. We don't have the materials. We definitely don't have the materials to upgrade these wood bars to iron. And that's all the concrete mix I have left is 700. Yeah, that's not even remotely close to what we need. But let's go ahead and get this. That's better. Let's go ahead and just get this preliminary stuff done. The stuff I can do. And we're not going to be in our current house a whole lot longer. because I do need to set up cement mix, and that means I'm going to be setting up an absolutely large amount of forges, and it's not a good idea to do that at your regular base, because if you do, you will be fighting nothing but screamers endlessly. And screamers aren't too bad in the early game, but I'm already at the point where I'm definitely going to start getting ferals, and not too much longer and I'll start getting radiated. And I don't mind fighting me radiated. Now, come on. There we go. I don't mind fighting radiated, but I don't really feel like fighting radiated when I'm trying to get some building done. And especially not every single time I want to go home and I want to craft something. So your options are basically two. You can either create a separate base where you can do your crafting and your forging, or your forges, or you can make a base that's deep underground. Is pretty much the only way to 100% cancel screamers. If you're, from my personal experience, it's around 45 to 50 blocks underground from the surface, and screamers don't spawn. Now, that was in Alpha 17 and 18. I don't know if they've changed it to 19. I wouldn't imagine they have, but it's possible. So I have to now decide if I want to make an underground base for my forges, either by themselves or just the entire base for everything. Or do I want to put them where I'm at and then move my stuff? I just don't know. I wouldn't mind making like I actually do like making my Horde base the same as my regular base. Some people think that's a dumb idea because if they collapse your base, they'll get your stuff. That's not an issue at all. I've never once in the thousands of hours that I've played had that happen. It can happen, but it depends on how you build. If you do something like this and you put everything on the ground floor, yes, obviously if they break in, they're going to destroy your stuff. If you put it way up in the sky and they collapse the supports, yes, they're going to destroy your stuff. So the solution is either build your stuff like 1 or 2 layers underground. You don't even have to go to the bedrock, just underground. So then they won't be able to hit it. Or if you're going to build it on the ground or up above, make sure to make it pretty much impenetrable. Double or triple up layers and reinforce steel them so that even if you're overwhelmed, you can either bail out of the base and draw them away so they won't destroy your stuff, or make it so where it would be nearly impossible for them to break in. Now, the problem with something like making it super strong is it's going to take an insane number of resources to do that. And so I typically just will build a layer 1 or 2 below here, and then when I say layer, I mean like a level, like 5 blocks, 4 blocks tall. So if it was a layer, it would be right below the surface, 5 blocks tall. But if you do, like, for me, like 2 layers would be roughly 10 blocks below the ground, would be where the floor is. So that way, if demolishers start blowing up here and they start to break in, they wouldn't get into your actual base where all your stuff is. So I have got a lot of work to do. There we go. Yeah, I think this is going to look really good. And again, this is not intended to be our permanent base, but because our permanent base, oh, look at this. Because our permanent base is going to take hundreds of thousands of cement, I couldn't start it now even if I wanted to. Well, actually I could. I could dig out the base and stuff. It's not going to be underground. It's going to be on the surface. But for what I want to do, I am going to have to dig out some areas, some large areas, because the base is going to be very large in square footage. So, oh, look at that. I heard about a bug where right punches don't work with steel, and yeah, it's totally true. They don't. So this update did break. Oh, I hit him once. Oh, I see. You have to get super close. Ah. Well, let's hope they fix that sooner rather than later. Otherwise, I may have to change weapons, because I can't just only do power attacks. I don't have that much stamina regen. I feel like there's another one near me, but there isn't. Hey, get back, Big Mama. Yeah, that sucks. I mean, wow, you have to get super close. That's okay. Looks like I may be changing weapons at least temporarily. Unless I get lucky and they release an update within the next day or so, which would be nice, but I wouldn't count on it. It takes time. Okay, so as I was saying, it seems kind of silly, I'm sure, to expand this base when it's working fine now. But the truth is, I just don't know if I'm going to be able to... Yeah, we're only at game stage 67. Demolishers don't show till around 150. In the past, I heard exactly 154, then other people 155, then other people 150. We'll just say about 150. So even though it's a while till Demolishers show up, this little base by itself probably is not going to be... Even if I reinforce steel it, which of course I'm going to, I don't think that'll hold up long against multiple Demolishers if they explode. That's a worst case scenario, but I've found in this game it's always best to plan for worst case. So even though it may seem like we're wasting resources, a lot of steel and iron building this up, because of the absolute size and requirements of the resources for my permanent base, Horde Base, I mean, we're going to need hundreds of thousands of concrete, and there's just no way. I might start digging it out if I find a place, although I gotta say, this area is pretty decent. It's fairly level. What you're looking for is this green area here where there's no... See how there's shades of green? The shades of green means that there's a difference in elevation. This area here that's like this weird blocky or blotchy black dots, same thing. It means there's elevation changes. I think these mean there's less of an elevation. It's more of a gradual, but there's still an elevation. So what you're looking for is a single color of green that's solid. That means that it's a relatively flat area. See, here's more. This means it's like a minor hill gradient. Now here's a pretty decent spot. You can see there's a giant hill there. There's another spot that seems decent. Oh, there is somebody. I thought I heard footsteps. Hey, Steve. Eat it. Ooh, there's more. We got victims. We got victims. Yeah, I hear you. You know what? I just realized since I don't really have... My gloves are kind of broken at the moment, so it's a good thing I made this wonderful shotgun. It's only tier 3, but that's good enough for me. So yeah, got a lot of work to do here, but before I even really worry too much about that, we're going to need a lot more resources. I'm not too concerned about the iron for this, even by the next Horde Night, since cops spit through it now. The bars no longer block cop spit, meaning they don't really take damage unless they get hit by splash damage. For example, if I was standing up there and a cop would spit and hit me, the splash damage would damage the block I'm on. Or like if the spit hits here at the edge, it'll damage these blocks a little bit. So I'm not too concerned about cop spit for the next Horde Night on these outer blocks. I still think, if I recall, there was a vulture that got in. I don't know if he got in here through the side or if he got in from up above between the bars. I'm not positive. And of course, we are going to put a roof above this part. I'm not going to stand out, obviously, completely exposed. But we will see. But I think that's pretty much it for today's episode. Oof. I know it doesn't seem like we got a lot done, but really we did. And the big thing I really wanted to do was show you guys kind of the concept that I'm going for here. And I think I did a pretty good job of showing that. So, as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, please feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe, suggestion, all that good stuff. Whew. I'll see you guys in the next episode. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe. Back up the game saves, guys. Do not forget. And I will see you guys in the next episode.